Welcome to Out of the Park 25, newly released. I've chosen the Oakland Athletics, as you can see, and this is the city of Oakland's last chance for a baseball team in the immediate future. In real life, I believe, and in this game, for sure. I am operating under the assumption that the A's will not be playing at the Oakland Coliseum in 2025, which begs the question, where will they be playing after this season? Now, John Fisher would have you believe that the A's will be in Las Vegas playing, although the stadium plans are kind of wishy washy and it probably won't be ready until 2028. And that's 3 full years that the A's need to find a temporary home. And so this simulation will not only attempt to bring the A's back to relevance and out of the dumpster, but also take you through what could potentially happen in this Oakland A's relocation saga. So we've got this team. I will reveal at the end of the season where the A's will be moving to. I have an idea. I will say that it will not be in Las Vegas. I do not want to take them there. I don't believe that Las Vegas can support a Major League Baseball team. It's too hot, first of all. Second of all, the idea that visiting fans would make up most of the gate revenue is frankly disgusting. And I cannot stand what the A's are doing to the city of Oakland, John Fisher, namely, Dave Cavall. I mean, frankly, disgusting things going on with those two guys. But anyways, we've got a baseball team still. So, the recently signed J.D. Davis slots in at third base. The Giants cut him. The A's picked him up. He'll be making, in real life, like $3.6 million. The Giants are still on the hook for $1.1 million. But for us, 2.5, pretty decent deal. He hit well enough in San Francisco, probably better suited as a platoon guy than in a full-time role. Not sure that we'll get him to a platoon role because we don't have many lefties, especially infielders, I should say. Hitting second, Ryan Noda. I think he should be leading off, or maybe in the third spot, Esteury Ruiz should be leading off. I'm going to let Mark Kotsay do what he wants. I'm only controlling this team as the general manager, not the manager. Ryan Noda, former Rule 5 draft pick of the LA Dodgers last season, had a good rookie year in Oakland. And I mean, look at this minor league track record for Noda. I have never seen a guy hit like this and be so unheralded. But I should say that at each of these levels, he was relatively at a relatively high age at each of these levels. 25 in AA, 26 in AAA. That's why he hit so well. But 21 in rookie ball, 22 in single A. I mean, those numbers are pretty rare. So hoping for a good season from Ryan Noda in the 2 spot. And this is the section of the lineup I'm most confident about. Section of the team, really. Esteury Ruiz, 67 steals last season with the new rules. Decent defender, capable with the bat. Still, the results aren't there, though, with the bat for him. They were in the minors. I think that's why the A's were so attracted to him when they traded away Sean Murphy. So Ruiz will be a guy to look out for. I mean, look at these ratings here. 90 stealing aggressiveness and 80 ability. He'll be, setting fire to the base pass this season. Seth Brown, power hitter in the middle of the lineup. Didn't have a great year last year, but 25 bombs 2 years ago. He's a guy that's been here for a while. He's used to it. 2 20-homer seasons. We hope he rebounds in 2024 on a cheap deal as well. Everybody's on a cheap deal. It's the Oakland A's. Brent Rooker, breakout all-star last season. I had the opportunity to watch him in Tampa Bay, I should say in St. Pete, at Tropicana Field. The A's took on the Rays there while the Rays were starting off the season on a tear, I think getting to like 11 or 12-0. That game was a shutout, but Brent Rooker did have a double. So I'm a fan of him. He popped out of nowhere and just kept hitting. Like, everyone thought he was going to fall off. He finishes with 30 homers, didn't get traded, and he's our 5th guy. J.J. Bleday started off in AAA in this, but we don't have a lot of lefty bats that are quality, and this is a pretty quality skill set, even though he's struggled at the major league level since he was a first-round draft pick of the Marlins. The A's acquire him for A.J. Puck last season before the year started. He's got a decent arm in the outfield. He'll be our everyday right fielder for as much as you can be an everyday player in Oakland. 65 gap power, 65 eye, pretty good. I'm wanting to see how these ratings all play out. I think Out of the Park 25 has kind of jiggled the ratings a little bit, so I'm not sure that they still translate the way that they used to. Excuse me. Shea Langoliers, 60 power at catcher, the replacement for Sean Murphy. Good catcher arm. Didn't succeed in the majors last year in his first full real season of work. If he can be an 85 OPS plus guy with better defense, he should be a more valuable player, but I'm not sure he can get to that defensive level. Aledmus Diaz getting paid $8 million to be like a bad hitter and a not fantastic defender. I mean, he can play anywhere. He's fine, but he can't steal bases. I don't know why they paid this guy $8 million and made him the second highest paid player on the team. Asinine. Nick Allen, nerfed compared to other seasons in Out of the Park. I think defensively his ratings have come down. Offensively, they're about the same. Didn't have a great year with the bat last season. We'll see what happens with him. He's a spark plug. Good peripheral ratings on running. The rest of the team, Stephen Piscotty back with the A's after being cut 2 years ago. Was with the Reds, Giants, White Sox. Did he play for any of those teams? No, he did not. Back with the White Sox or the Athletics on the minimum. Probably going to cut him, if I have to be honest. Miguel Andujar, waiver claim from the Pirates. Still some decent ratings. 70 infield arm. I'm not comfortable putting him at third, but he'll play. Making $1.7 million. I don't know why they picked him up. I mean, he hasn't been good since 2018 when he had that breakout season for the Yankees. I guess he was decent for the Pirates last season. BABIP's around the same, though. I don't know. It's just kind of a dart throw, I guess. Zach Geloff, I'd like to get more opportunities, basically evenly split time between AAA and the majors last season with about equal results. And a higher BABIP in AAA, so he actually performed better in the majors, I'd say. And we will be seeing him, I think, more and more as the season wears on, as we kind of whittle down these veterans we have. Drew Lugbauer, who I had not heard about before this sim, is a University of Michigan alum. I'm about to be that in about 2 months. And so I like him. Lefty catcher, just was with the Braves in Gwinnett, their AAA team. 60 power as a lefty catcher, sure. Can't play defense, though. So we're going to have to see what he does. He can play a little bit of first, but so can Ryan Noda. I guess he can play in the outfield a little bit. So Lugbauer might be going down sooner rather than later. We'll see, though, if he can't hit. Alex Wood, best starter on the team. Just kind of an overall good guy. You'd rather have him be your 4 than your 1, but this team won 50 games last season, so we'll take it for 8.5. Paul Blackburn, an all-star with Oakland in 2022. It's pretty good, too. Pretty average starter. J.P. Sears, lefty. A little bit worse than Alex Wood, but good for us. Got Ross Stripling, highest paid player on the team at 9.25, and he's also aggressively average at 34. Right-handed pitcher, didn't pitch well for San Francisco last year. Don't really know why he's on the team. Mitch Spence, Rule 5 draft pick from the New York Yankees. He's our captain. Slots in as the number 5 starter, about to turn 26. A skill set that's not really leaving too much on the bone for us to wonder about, but we'll keep an eye on him, of course. Scott Alexander, longtime Giant, well, not a longtime Giant, but a longtime Dodger, lefty kind of guy. Hasn't really pitched a full season in 5 years, 6 years, so we'll see about him. Adrian Martinez, sure. Kyle Mueller, lefty from the Braves, came over in the Murphy trade as well, was awful in any level they played him at last year. So we'll see. Osvaldo Bido, never heard of him. Actually, that's pretty interesting. 19 to 22, high to AAA to the majors, sure. Trevor Gott, just kind of a normal veteran reliever. Sean Newcomb, still in the league. He's pretty good, man. I don't know. Not pretty good. Why should I say that? Look at this trade in 2015. Traded with Chris Ellis, Eric Ibar, and cash to the Braves for Jose Briseño and Andrelton Simmons. That's a fun deal. Now he's with us. Joe Boyle, 70 stuff. pretty good for the A's. 35 control, though, a little worrying. He's a righty. He's only been up for 15 days in the major leagues. Pitched well out of the pen for the last, or I guess he started last few games for the A's last season. Pitched mostly in Double-A as a starter. He'll be the setup man behind Mason Miller at closer, who also started a few games last year in Oakland. He's by far the best pitcher on the staff, at least the highest potential pitcher on the staff at 25, can gas it up above 100 miles an hour. He's the type of guy that's like, let's get him as many saves as possible and trade him. The old A's thing they do. I don't believe in that, but probably won't stick around for long. He's 25, so he might just throw his arm off by the time he reaches the end of our control with him, but we'll see. Mason Miller, best pitcher on the team. Now to the rest of the organization. As you can see, the farm system is zapped of anything, really. A few guys in AAA above a 50 potential, and nobody else on the whole farm. Now, in Out of the Park 25, prospects are a little bit nerfed in the way that you see them. I don't think the boom-bust rates have changed as much, just more conservative with rating them as prospects. See our four best prospects here. Butler's already in the 40-man, so I'm not putting him on a short list. He has some good ratings, could be an above-average bat an average bat with an above-average glove. Came up for Oakland a little bit last year. Soderstrom, more of a first baseman than a catcher, but a good hitter. Denzel Clark has some stuff going on defensively, offensively, but he's outspoken and he's a righty. Darryl Hernandez probably will come up later in the year at 22. Rule 5 eligible, can play second, and is a decent hitter. So that's the AAA guys. Grant Holman, don't have a lot of pitchers on the prospect list here. He's okay. Royber Salinas as well. I see him more as a reliever. I'll go to the list that I have collated here. Soderstrom, Clark, Hernandez, Brian Buelvis could get there as a major league player. Clark Elliott, University of Michigan graduate. I want to point out, look at these OBP numbers last season. And he did the same thing in college. He was like a 300, 400, 500 guy in college at Michigan. I had the opportunity to see him a couple times live, and he was a great college outfielder. His eyes should be higher than 45, man. He was out doing his average by like 100-plus points in terms of the average OBP discrepancy. So I think Clark Elliott's getting shafted by Out of the Park. I hope he turns out for us. I really like him. He's playing in Lansing, counterintuitively, for the former Ann Arbor man. Grant Holman, talked about him. Does he have no, he's not a batter. Caught that out of the corner of my eye. Brennan Malone, who I'm actually really excited about. This eye, I think, would push him to an above-average hitter at second base, especially. He's hit well in the minors. I'm looking out for him. Out of Oregon, a 28th-round pick and then a 6th-round pick after denying the Dodgers in high school. Anytime you can get a guy that the Dodgers wanted, that's a good deal. Max Muncy, not the other Max Muncy the Dodgers have. Our Max Muncy, I think his name is Maxwell. We'll hope he maxes well. He's kind of the same thing as Malone. Could be above average with this eye. Not as great of a defender. I'm actually more interested in Malone's progression, but he is a year younger. Miles Naylor, the third Naylor brother, unless I'm missing any, is a righty, not a lefty like the other two. 18 years old, third base type, average bat. So we'll see. But he is 18, starting an A-ball. Daniel Suzak, behind Soderstrom, is our better catching prospect, I think, as a pure catcher. He can actually play the position, unlike Soderstrom. Not as good of a bat, though. At 22, we'll see about him. Joey Estes, another pitcher. Salinas, I talked about. And then last one, Jacob Wilson, the most recent first-round pick of the Oakland Athletics. Very hit-tooly guy. Can't really play defense, can't hit for power, doesn't have eye. Not excited about him being our most recent first-round pick and representing kind of the future for us. But the future is kind of bleak for Oakland anyways. 30th in budget, 30th in payroll, tiny market size, pathetic fan loyalty, and 15 fan interest. I don't know how we're going to get away with charging $29 for tickets. Might as well make them free for John Fisher. Oakland, they go through the stretches of being real bad and real good, but it doesn't seem like this stretch of being real bad is going to end. anytime soon. And you lose the guys that they did after these 2 seasons in 18 and 19, like Olsen, Chapman, Murphy, all those dudes, and it's because of this guy. So, budget's supposed to go up next year. We only got $100 million this year. Here's a payroll. A lot of minimum salaries will come up here. I'm keeping everything the same on the coaching side until next season. Player development-wise, best prospect is Denzel Clark, which I don't agree with. I think if I had to rank it for us, I think it'd be Hernandez, Malone, and then Lazar Armenteros. No, I didn't talk about him, though, but he's fine in the outfield. I hesitate to put Jacob Wilson. If this hit tool comes along, he can kind of be a right-handed Jeff McNeil. He can play a little bit of the outfield, so I put him, Hernandez, and Malone together, and that's not a good thing when you just have second base prospects. But that's what Oakland seems to be collecting, like, little middle infielders. I don't know how tall Hernandez is. Do we have it? 6'1", 170. Wilson, I think, was small when he got drafted. Let's see. Yeah, no, he's 6'3". Okay. And Malone's 6 foot. Muncy 6 foot. So, like, they're not tiny little guys. They're not, what's his name? Madrigal. But we'll see. The other thing I wanted to mention, for the guys on my short list, I am going to control, or for most of them, I'm going to control this passive development screen. Thank you, P.F. Holden, for that concept, or word for the concept that Out of the Park 25 is launching with. So you can kind of scale these like the scouting budget sliders, and you only have so much total time, and you can only fill it up with so much of these slots. So I'm focusing on Clark's power and eye. From the way the concept's been laid out on the forums, it doesn't really help with increasing potential, but it helps with fulfilling potential. So I want his power and eye to be maxed out, and then he can be a real player in the majors. But for the guys that I like how the AI is handling their development, I'm going to continue to allow the AI to do that. 30-man or 40-man roster will probably be expanded. I guess these are the guys on the IL. Ken Waldichuk was a more highly touted prospect in the Montas trade for the Yankees. Didn't really do well. He is a lefty, but he's out for 4 months. Freddie Tarnock came over from the Braves in the Murphy deal. I don't think he has a future. And then Luis Medina, another guy, like, whatever. So, are these guys on? Yeah, I'll put them on the 40-man. I guess that doesn't make sense. Whatever. I think that might be it. Mitch Spence is our captain. Chemistry's not great. Nick Allen should provide something there. Mason Miller, the only legitimate kind of player on this team, if I'm being honest. I could see it from Ruiz if he puts it all together. It's Miller, Jaloff maybe, if he can be a third baseman, but this personality type scares me. Langoliers could be a top catcher, but right now we're trying to cycle through players, figure out who we got. So whip around the league. Should mention Blake Snell, following the Cole injury, goes to the Yankees for $13.9. Brandon Belt to Colorado outpaces all these free agent signings, and the Rockies signed him for $16. Of course they do. I mean, he's a good player, but like they're paying him more than Snell, Montgomery, and Martinez. JD goes for nearly $8 to the Nationals, reminiscent of the Nelson Cruz signing. And Jordan Montgomery, 12-6 to the Phillies, which is admittedly very fun to have Wheeler, Nola, Montgomery, Suarez, Walker as the 5 for the Phils. That's a fun team. We won't be seeing them in the playoffs. That's for sure. We look at the top systems in baseball. Ethan Salas, ridiculous 17-year-old. I mean, come on. 70 blocking, 60 framing, 55 arm. This is a new way that catcher ratings are split. And Out of the Park 25 made it all the way to Double-A as a 17-year-old. Chorio, Holiday, Wyatt Langford. Look at that. Holiday, Chorio. I think Langford's kind of better than them. Jackson Jobe, another Jackson top prospect. They're not as high on him as I think they should be. Everyone's like raving about him. Caminero, that's a good skill set. Gat Power's not there, though. And then for us, nothing. I thought about doing the Blue Jays and the Angels as well, but I thought that'd be too similar to what I did with the White Sox. If you weren't with the channel at that point, played 5 seasons with Chicago, won the World Series in 2027 against the Braves, and after finally getting over the Orioles hump, and I ended the series there, kind of open-ended. I thought maybe it could come back. I'm aiming for at least that, and then I'd hope to double it to 10 seasons. I want to get through an expansion of Major League Baseball, a few different moves, namely us, and I want to see things kind of settle in as we move through the 2020s. But I will provide the next update for this season, barring something unexpected. If this team punches above its weight, I'll update next at the draft, right before and then right after, to tell you who I was thinking about, who I eventually drafted. But this is it right now. Guess we'll look at the predictions. We're projected to be the 3rd worst team in Major League Baseball, worst team in the American League. We're behind the Nationals and the Rockies overall. I struggle to understand why they think of us higher than any other team, but I think the hitting could be there. Maybe. I have seen in different simulations that this team can tread around 500. I just don't believe in it happening in my sim, but we'll see. I did make the playoffs all 5 years with the White Sox, even though they bottomed out in real life. But this is the new Out of the Park 25 save. Thank you for watching episode 1. Episode 2 should be out shortly near the MLB draft. Stay tuned for this new Out of the Park 25 franchise. Thanks.